Neon slips across the sidewalk like a thought I didn't finish. A cashier's bell rings once and forgets my face. I fold the receipt in half, then smaller, as if paper can hold steadiness. Rain beads on my sleeves and cools the heat of the day. A bus exhales at the corner, doors opening to nothing urgent. I step inside anyway, warm air and rubber floors, windows fogged with other people's nights. The city turns soft at the edges, street signs melting into color. I watch my reflection drift over passing storefronts. My mouth moves around words I don't send. I remember your name as a shape of light, not a sentence. The seat vibrates with engine patience. I let my hands rest where they stop shaking. A woman across the aisle stares at her shoes like they contain answers. A man holds a paper bag that smells like bread and simple survival. The driver speaks in a low, practiced tone, a rhythm more than meaning. I count stops by streetlight. Amber, amber, amber. Then one that flickers blue. My phone stays quiet and I don't punish it. I let the silence be functional, like a coat zipped up. We pass the river. Dark water carrying reflections without keeping any. I think about apology without making it dramatic. I think about distance without making it sacred. The bus turns, tires whispering on wet asphalt. I look at the folded receipt again. Numbers, items, time, proof I existed somewhere. I tuck it into my pocket and feel it soften with warmth when I step off. Rain hits my face gently, like a hand that doesn't ask questions. I walk slower than usual and the night accepts the pace. Neon follows behind me, not to chase, to accompany. The stairwell smells like damp concrete and old detergent. A single bulb buzzes with stubborn devotion. I climb slowly, one step then another, as if I can rearrange my mind. My keys jingle like tiny warnings. A door shut somewhere above, soft and final. I pause on the landing and listen to the building breathe. Pipes tick, a distant elevator hum. Someone's muted television used to background noise and my own footsteps. I touch the railing, cold metal, honest. The paint is chipped where hands have held on. I think about how people keep moving anyway, without speeches, without applause. The bulb flickers once, then steadies like it decided to stay. I remember your laugh echoing in a hallway a long time ago. Now the echo is mine, small and careful. I reach my floor and stand at my door with an exhausted kind of respect. Inside is quiet, not empty, just unperformed. I don't turn on the bright light, I choose the small lamp that makes everything softer. I set my bag down without a thud. I wash my hands and watch water run clear, then stop, a clean ending. I open the window, a crack, air slips in, cool and neutral rain, a slow to a thin tap. Cars pass far away, a low chord held steady. I sit on the couch and let the cushion sigh. My shoulders drop like they remember gravity. I think about tomorrow in lowercase. I think about today and let it be finished. The stairwell bulb outside keeps buzzing for someone else. I let that be enough. I lie back, eyes half open, listening to the building hold its shape. Nothing miraculous happens, nothing has to. The night stays quiet, and I stay with it. Coffee cooling on the desk. The coffee sits and loses heat slowly, like a lesson in patience. I meant to drink it fast, to feel awake, to feel ready. Instead I watch the surface darken, steam thinning into nothing. The room is quiet in a practical way. A laptop fan whispers a tired line. A pen rolls slightly and stops. Outside the sky is gray, and outside just undecided. I open a document and stare at the blank page as if it owes me direction. My hands hover then rest. I breathe in and taste yesterday still lingering. Think about you without the sharpness, like remembering the street. I no longer walk, a notification flashes, I ignore it gently. The coffee cools and I let it. I stand up, stretch my back, feel the body return to itself. The window is fingerprints from mornings I don't recall. I wipe them away and watch the glass clear. Cars move below, steady and indifferent. A bird lands, looks around and disappears. I take a sip, the coffee is cooler now, bitter, honest, still useful. I write one sentence, not perfect, not brave, just present. I write another, then stop, listening for panic. None arrives, the room stays calm. I hear rain begin again. as if rearranging can be a small kind of mercy. The coffee keeps cooling and the world keeps moving. I keep writing slowly without declaring a new life. Just this minute, just this breath, just the quiet work of being here. The corner looks the same as it did before the waiting meant anything. A traffic light changes color with no concern for my memory. I stand under the awning and watch rain stitch the road. People pass with umbrellas and purpose. Their footsteps sound confident even when their faces don't. A delivery scooter splashes through a puddle, water jumping and settling. I check my phone out of habit, and I hope no new message, no new mercy. I put it away like a sharp object. The convenience store door chimes bright and small inside. Fluorescent light makes everything too real. I buy a bottle of water and a simple snack. Nothing symbolic, the cashier says hello and I say hello back. To ordinary lines that hold the day together. Outside again, the rain grows lighter then heavier, then lighter. Practicing indecision. It's only traffic, only distance, only ordinary time. I don't dramatize it, I let the truth be plain. I walk slowly, listening to tires on wet asphalt. A steady hush, a bus stop sign glows like a small promise, but I don't need it. I cross the street when the light tells me not when my heart does. I pass a bookstore, shutters down, title sleeping behind metal. I wonder what I would read if I weren't so careful. I wonder what you read now. The thought arrives then leaves like a car turning a corner. I breathe in and the air feels cooler, cleaner, more forgiving. I breathe out and feel the chest loosen. The corner stays behind me. No message waiting there, no miracle, just a street that belongs to everyone. I keep walking until the rain becomes background, until my steps become rhythm, until the city sounds like a low chord I can live inside. I left the lamp on without deciding to. A warm circle in a room that feels too big. The day was long in small ways, emails, errands, unfinished conversations. Now the night arrives and lowers its voice. I take off my coat and hang it carefully, as if care can be practiced. The floor is cool, the air is still. A neighbor's footsteps fade down the hallway. I may then vanish, a quiet lesson in letting go. My phone sits face down, a truce on the table. I don't check it, I don't negotiate. I sit on the couch and listen to nothing special. The refrigerator hum, a distant car, the soft tick of a clock. The lamp keeps glowing, patient, unjudging. I think about you in a distant way, like remembering a song from another season. The memory doesn't cut, it just exists. I breathe in and feel the ribs expand slowly. I breathe out and the shoulders drop. I notice my hands resting open on my knees, not gripping, not bracing, just present outside. Rain returns lightly, thin taps on the window. I let it be rhythm, not meaning. I stand up and close the curtains. The room becomes softer, safer. The lamp stays on, holding its small circle of warmth. I read a few pages and stop, not bored, just satisfied. I rinse a cup, dry it slowly, set it back in place. Simple actions stack into calm. I turn the lamp lower, then lower again. The light becomes a whisper. I lie down and feel the blankets weight settle me. The lamp stayed on long enough to teach the room how to feel kind. Then I switch it off and darkness arrives gently, like a quiet ending I can trust. Too bright for midnight, but it's open, and that's enough. Machines turn like slow planets, glass doors fogged with warm. 5 feet coins into the slot and listen to the first clunk, the start of motion. A woman folds towels with no expression, a practice calm. A teenager scrolls on his phone as if the screen is a lifeline. Detergent smell hangs in the air, clean and synthetic, almost hopeful. I sit on the plastic chair and let the hum steady me outside the window. Rain smears the street into watercolor, headlights pass, then vanish like thoughts that can't commit. I watch my clothes tumble as if they belong to someone else. I think about how we try to fix ourselves with small routines. Wash, rinse, repeat. The dryer door shuts with a soft final sound, a private punctuation. I check the time, not because it matters, because it moves. A vending machine rises then settles, a wave that keeps returning. It makes me wanna breathe slower, it makes my shoulders drop without permission. I remember nights when your hand found mine without planning it. Now my hands rest alone, and it isn't tragic, just true. A sock escapes the basket, lands on the floor, I pick it up. Simple care for a simple thing. The washes keep turning, the world keeps turning. I stop trying to explain the distance, I stop trying to name the ache. I let it be sound, texture, background. A door opens, cold air rushes in, then closes. Someone says sorry without needing forgiveness. I like that kind of apology. Quiet, quick, functional, the dryer functions with a soft beep, a small landing I can trust. I pull warm clothes out and the heat surprises me. A brief kindness, I fold each piece slowly, as if folding is a kind of prayer without religion. When I leave, the rain is thin to miss. The street feels cleaner, not new, just washed. My bag is heavier with laundry and lighter with noise. I walk home under streetlights that don't judge, carrying warmth like a borrowed belief. The rooftop door sticks, then opens with a sigh. Cold air meets my face like a gentle correction. The city below is blurred, lights softened by mist. Buildings reduced to shapes, wind moves past my ears and takes some of my thoughts with it. I walk to the edge and stop at a safe distance. Hands in my pockets, heart not performing. A puddle on the concrete holds a broken skyline, rippling when the wind leans in. I watch it for a long minute and forget to hurry. Somewhere down there a car horn sounds, and eyes up here. Everything is quieter, as if the world is on mute. I think about you the way I think about seasons. Real, uncontrollable, already moving on. I don't argue with it tonight. I let the mist keep its mystery. A rooftop antenna creaks softly, metal complaining like an old song. I sit on a low ledge and feel the cold through my coat. It's uncomfortable but honest. The wind lifts my hair and I let it. A neighbor's window glows 2 buildings away, television blue in the dark. I imagine someone laughing and then turning the volume down. The city is full of private scenes, none of them mine, and that feels strangely peaceful. I breathe in and taste wet air, concrete, distant rain. disappear. Small proof things can leave without violence. I check my phone once, not for messages, for the time, then put it away. Time looks the same up here. I rest my hands on my knees and feel them warm slowly. I remember how it felt to wait for your reply, like holding my breath too long. Now I practice exhaling, the mist thickens then thins, like the city is blinking. I stand and stretch, quiet joints, quiet bones, no speech, no conclusion, just me and wind, sharing the same sky. When I go back inside, the stairwell feels warmer and the building's hum returns. I don't feel trapped by it, I feel held. The rooftop stays above me, mist still moving, wind still working, and I carry that motion back into the night. Back into the night. Back into the night. Back into the night. The library is quiet in a way that feels ceremonial. Pages turn softly, chairs slide with restraint. Someone coughs and apologizes to the air. Fluorescent lights hum overhead, steady, indifferent. I sit at a table that has held countless strangers, and their unfinished thoughts. A book lies open in front of me, but my eyes keep drifting. The words are there, I simply don't enter. Outside, rain taps the windows like a polite visitor. The librarian walks past, keys at her belt, a small jingle of authority. A sign near the door says closing soon, and friendly letters. I like that honesty, the world telling you in advance when it will end. I look around at people packing their bags, zipping up their lives. One student highlights a sentence as if it matters more than sleep. An older man returns a stack of novels without looking back. I think about the stories we keep and the ones we abandon. I think about you as a chapter I reread too often, not because it changes, because it feels familiar. My phone stays silent on the table. I turn it face down, I try to be present without forcing meaning. The air smells like paper and dust, soft, dry history. A clock on the wall ticks with unromantic commitment. I copy a quote into my notebook, then pause. I don't know who I'm saving it for, maybe myself later, when I need proof announces closing in a gentle voice. No one groans, everyone stands, the room empties in slow waves. I gather my things with the same slowness, as if leaving too fast would be disrespectful. I return the book and feel the stamps raised ink under my fingertips. A small texture, a small goodbye at the exit. A security gate beeps once and then forgets me. Outside the rain as these street lights make the pavement shine. The library behind me turns into a quiet box of light. I walk away with nothing learned from the pages, yet somehow lighter, as if the silence itself was the lesson I needed. The river looks darker before dawn, as if holding its breath. Street lights line the path like patient guardians. My steps are quiet on the wet ground, shoes making a soft hush. A cyclist passes and the sound fades quickly, leaving the air intact. The water moves without needing attention. I watch it carry reflections and refuse to keep them. That feels like wisdom. Cold air enters my lungs cleanly. I pull my coat tighter and keep walking. The city behind me is still half asleep. Windows dim, traffic minimal, a low hum in the distance. I like this hour. It doesn't ask who I am, it doesn't ask what happened, it just offers space. A bench sits empty, wood damp from night mist. I sit for a moment and feel the cold seeping. It wakes me gently. I think about you in a way that doesn't hurt, more like remembering a place I once waited. The river continues, it does not stop for nostalgia. A bird calls once, then quiet. The sky begins to lighten almost imperceptibly, like someone turning a dial. I stand and walk again. Hands in pockets, breath visible for a second, then gone. I pass a bridge and listen to water under it. A deeper tone, a low chord held steady. It calms me, not because it solves anything, because it's consistent. My phone buzzes once with a generic update. I ignore it. The river's update is better. It's still moving. I watch ripples spread from a falling drop, a small circle expanding, then dissolving. I think about my own circles, habits, worries, memories, how they expand, how they dissolve, how some return anyway. The sky lightens again, a thin line of pale color appears over buildings. Dawn arrives without drama. I feel my chest open slightly, as if the body trusts light. I turn back toward home with damp air on my face, and a quiet kind of steadiness settling in my ribs. No epiphany, no new story, just the river still moving, and me finally moving with it. The parking garage is half empty and full of sound. My footsteps bounce off concrete and return slightly delayed, like the building is thinking a fluorescent strip light flickers with tired persistence. I walk past parked cars, beaded with moisture, silent bodies under dim lamps. Somewhere above a door closes, the echo travels and dissolves. I like places that don't pretend. Concrete is honest, it holds cold without apology. I stop near a pillar, painted with a faded number. My breath shows for a second, then disappears in an air that tastes like dust. A distant engine starts, low, impatient, then fades down the ramp. I imagine leaving too, without a speech, without explaining. The city outside is wet and bright, but in here it's muted. A private room under the streets. I think about you. As an echo of a voice, they used to fill spaces. Now the space fills itself. I run a hand along the rail, metal cool, a clean line. A security camera turns slowly as if it's bored. I hear rain tapping somewhere through vents and gaps, a faint percussion behind concrete. My phone lights up once, I don't look, I let the glow die. A puddle near a drain reflects the light above, shivering when a drop hits. It's small but it keeps moving. I watch it for too long and feel my mind quiet. This garage is not romantic, that's why it works. No memories hung on walls, no songs attached to corners, just sound, distance, and my own presence. I sit on a low curb then let the cold press into my cold. The ache in my shoulders loosens like it's tired of fighting. I stand again and walk toward the exit. The echo follows me, then stops when I stop. I step into the open air, and the city noise returns, bigger, softer, more alive. But for a while I carry the garage's emptiness, like a clean room inside my chest. The store is open when everything else looks closed. Fluorescent light makes the aisles feel endless, bright and plain, like a truth you can't decorate. A bell rings at the door and the cashier barely looks up. I walk past instant noodles, snacks in loud packaging, bottles lined like small soldiers outside. Rain keeps the street at fretted, turning headlights into long smears. I choose a drink at random, something simple and a small pastry that tastes like childhood without details. The cashier scans items with a soft beat rhythm, a minimal beat. I pay and feel the receipt warm in my hand. Proof of time, proof of motion. I sit by the window at the tiny counter and watch the street. A taxi stops, someone runs across, umbrella tilted, then disappears around a corner. The store's air smells like plastic and sugar, clean in a manufactured way. I don't mind, it's honest about what it is. A microwave hums behind the counter. The refrigerator fans breathe steadily. Everything here has one job and does it without drama. I think about how complicated I made love, how I made distance holy, how I try to read silence like scripture here. Silence is just silence. A man buys cigarettes and leaves without saying much. A student grabs coffee and stares at their phone as if it contains mercy. I sip my drink slowly, let the cold settle. The cashier plays a quiet song from a small speaker low enough to ignore. I look at my own reflection in the glass, blood over traffic. I look tired but not broken. I unwrap the pastry, listen to the soft crinkle, and eat without rushing. Sweetness lands gently for a moment, that is enough. I don't check messages, I don't search for signs. I just sit in fluorescent light and let the night pass through me. When I stand to leave, the bell rings again, a small announcement to nobody outside. Rain hits my shoulders and cools my face. The street is quiet but alive. I walk home with the simple items in my bag and a simpler feeling in my chest, like the world can be ordinary and still hold me. underpass smells like wet stone and old exhaust. Water drips from the ceiling. In uneven time, a pattern that refuses to be perfect. A train passes overhead, low thunder through concrete ribs, then silence returns. Thicker than before, I stand near the wall where posters peel, colors faded into gray. Someone wrote a name with a marker and then scratched it out. I understand that impulse. The street above keeps moving, but down here the sound is slower, more honest. A bicycle rolls by, tires whispering, the rider's hood pulled tight. They don't look at me, I don't ask them to. I watch the drip hit a puddle, each drop making a small ring, each ring expanding, then dissolving. It's the simplest story, impact, spread, disappear. I take a breath and taste and bear. My hands are in my pockets, fingers warm from staying still. I think about how I used to wait, how I used to measure hours by your replies, how I used to make my heart a mailbox. Now I measure time by drip sounds, by trains overhead, by the way cold air settles. The drip becomes steady for a minute, then changes again. Nothing holds the same rhythm forever. A car passes above and the underpass echoes like a distant drum. I start walking just to hear my steps join the sound. My shoes tap, then soften in puddles, then tap again. I move past graffiti that looks like broken constellations, stars drawn by tired hands. I reach the middle of the underpass where the light is dimmest. A single bulb glows yellow, humming softly. I look up, water stains spread like maps, paths that formed without intention. I think my life has stains like that too. Not disasters, just marks. I keep walking until I reach the other side. The air changes, the street opens, the sound widens behind me. The drip continues without remembering me. I like that. I like being forgotten by the underpass. It means I can start fresh in the next block, in the next breath, in the next quiet minute that doesn't ask for an explanation. The corridor looks like every corridor, carpet pattern to hide time, walls painted the color of neutrality, soft lights line the ceiling, glowing like polite instructions. I walk slowly, as if I'm searching for a door that doesn't exist. My footsteps sink into the carpet, quiet enough to feel unreal. A housekeeping cart sits near the corner, towels stacked, bottles lined neatly. Everything here is prepared for someone else's comfort. I pass a mirror and see myself briefly, a traveler with no suitcase, a guest with no reservation. I think about the way love can feel like a hotel, temporary, bright, full of clean sheets, then suddenly check out. A door down the hall opens, a man steps out, ties his shoes, then leaves without looking up. The door closes again, soft and final. Swallows the moment. I pause near a window at the end, look out at city lights blurred by rain. Cars move like slow insects, headlights crawling through dark. Inside the air smells like detergent, quiet money. I don't belong here and that's why it calms me. No memories attached, no familiar corners, just anonymous space holding me. For a minute I lean against the wall, cool pain under my shoulder. I listen to the building, a distant elevator bell, a muffled conversation, then nothing. I think of you again, but the thought is softer. I think of myself and the thought stays. I notice the exit sign glowing green, steady as a promise. I decide to leave. I walk back the way I came, passing identical doors, identical numbers, identical silence. The sameness feels like mercy. No surprises, no ambush of emotion. At the end of the corridor, a door leads to the stairwell. It opens with a heavy click, cool air meets me. The stairwell smells like concrete, more real than carpet. I take the stairs down, one step at a time, and with each step I feel more like myself. When I reach the lobby, the outside rain sounds louder. I push the glass door open and step into weather that belongs to me. The corridor stays behind, a place without a room, a calm borrowed for a while, then return. Morning feels thin today, like a page held up to light. I buy breakfast at a bakery and carry it home in a paper bag. The bag is warm against my palm, a small kindness I didn't earn inside. Bread smells simple, like a promise that doesn't speak too loudly. I walk slowly, watching steam rise from street grates, watching clouds move with no hurry. Cars pass, but their sound is softer than usual, as if the city is being gentle. I reach my door, turn the key, and step inside. The room is cool, the air is still. I set the paper bag on the table and listen to it settle. Quiet thump, a clean beginning. I pour water into a glass, drink it cold, feel the throat wake up. I open the curtains, gray light enters, not bright, not sad, just present. I unwrap the bread carefully, the butter, sweetness, salt, simple things that don't demand a story. I think about you for a second, then let it go. The thought doesn't cling today, it passes like a bus. I don't need to catch, I make coffee and let it drip. The sound is steady, a rhythm that does not argue. I sit down and look at my hands, they look normal, they look capable of more. I realize I'm not waiting for rescue, I'm just eating breakfast, and that feels like progress. I write a short note on a scrap of paper. Today be simple, I don't frame it, I don't share it, I just place it by the mug and let it be private. Outside rain threatens but doesn't fall, the sky holds itself back. I do the same with my thoughts, not suppressing, just choosing quiet. I wash the plate, dry it, put it away. Routine stacks in a calm, the paper bag sits empty now. Wrinkled light, I fold it once and set it. The recycling in a small ending, a small clean closure. I take one more sip of coffee and feel warmth spread. Paper bag breakfast, nothing poetic, yet somehow it holds a whole morning without breaking. The station is quieter than it should be, like it's holding back a crowd that never came. A ticket machine glows with a screen too bright for this hour. I tap choices I already know, destinations that don't change my life, only my location. The machine beeps politely, a small digital rhythm. Coins drop with a soft clink, and I watch them disappear into a slot that doesn't care. Behind me, footsteps approach, then stop, then move away again. Everyone here is in their own film, the fluorescent lights hum overhead, steady and romantic, a poster peels at the corner, advertising joy from last season. I fold my ticket in half and feel the paper's thin certainty. A train arrives far down the platform, wind pushing ahead of it like a warning. The doors open, warm air spilling out, smelling like rubber and sleep. I step inside and choose a seat near the window. The glass is cold and far by breath. My reflection floats over tunnel darkness. I watch the lights flash past, white streaks then black. a simple pattern I can borrow. I think about messages I never sent, apologies that stayed in my throat, the way silence can feel like a decision. The train rocks gently, a cradle for tired minds. Someone's bag rustles, a cough lands, then fades. The speaker crackles and announces a stop I don't need. I keep riding anyway, because motion is easier than explanation. The tunnel opens to a bridge, water below is dark, holding reflections without keeping them. A small mercy, I rest my hands on my knees, open, unarmed. The train slows, people stand and leave, seats empty out like thoughts. I stay seated a moment longer, as if the train can teach me calm. When I finally step off, the platform feels colder. The ticket in my pocket warms with time. The machine glow stays behind me, still offering destinations to anyone who wants to become elsewhere. I walk toward the exit and let the night follow quietly, without asking what it means. The arcade is open, but almost empty. Machines waiting like bright ghosts. A clock game flashes without anyone trying. A racing cabinet loops a demo. Engine sounds muffled by distance. Neon reflects on the floor in small puddles of light. I walk between rows, and the air smells like plastic and old electricity. A change machine clicks and drops coins with a satisfied clatter. I don't use them, I just listen. Somewhere in the back, a rhythm game taps out, a beat no one follows. The sound is lonely but not sad, more like a room practicing. I sit on a bench and watch a screen replay the same intro sequence. A character smiles endlessly, unaware of real time. I think about how we repeat things too, habits, memories, the way we revisit old scenes, hoping for a different ending. A prize shelf holds stuffed animals with perfect stitched expressions. They look calm. I envy them briefly, then laugh under my breath at my own ridiculousness. A soft beat comes from a cabinet, a single note, then another. It's almost comforting, like a heartbeat without drama. I run my fingers along the edge of a joystick, smooth from countless hands. The idea of strangers doesn't bother me tonight. It feels honest, we all touch the same world in small temporary ways. The door opens, a couple walks in, plays one game, then leaves again. Their laughter fading like a song turned down. The arcade returns to its quiet glow. I check my phone and don't find anything new. I don't feel punished, I feel free. The machines keep blinking, patient and absurd. I stand up and walk toward the exit, passing light and sound like a stream. I don't have to enter at the door. The outside air is cool and smells like rain. The street feels softer after fluorescent brightness. Behind me, the arcade keeps beeping, still offering games, still offering illusion, still glowing in the dark. For anyone who needs a small bright distraction, I walk home with hands in pockets and a quieter mind, as if the soft beep reset something inside me. The pharmacy is too clean for my mood. White tiles, bright aisles, labels facing forward like soldiers. A bell rings when I enter and the cashier nods without curiosity. I walk past bandages, vitamins, bottles promising better days. Everything here is packaged hope. I choose a bottle of water, a simple thing that doesn't oversell itself. The refrigerator hums steadily, a low note in the background. Somewhere a printer we're spitting out a receipt like proof of survival. I look at the shelves and think about how people try to fix what hurts with small purchases. I think about you and how I try to fix distance with effort, fix silence with more words, fix pain with explanation. None of it worked cleanly here. Pain has instructions, take two, do not exceed. Call a professional. Life doesn't come with that clarity. I stand in front of cough drops and wonder why the throat holds so many unsaid things. A woman picks up hand cream, tests the scent, puts it back. A choice that matters to no one but her own skin. I like that kind of decision. Small, private, not begging for meaning. I pay for the water, the cashier says have a good night. I say you too. Two ordinary sentences holding the world together. Outside rain is light, more mist than storm. Street lights make the sidewalk shine. I take a sip and feel cold water settle in my chest. A sea's bright eyes stay behind me, still stocked with solutions. I keep walking with my simple bottle and my simple breath, accepting that tonight the best medicine is steady time and a calm body, learning to trust ordinary nights again. The first bridge is narrow and smells like wet metal. Water below moves quietly, dark and disciplined. I stop halfway and rest my hands on the rail, cold against my palms. A car passes behind me, sound trailing off into distance. The city feels far, even though it's right there. I watch the water carry reflections of streetlights and refuse to keep them. I think that's how I wanna live. Let light pass through without clinging. I keep walking until the bridge ends. Becomes a sidewalk again. A vending machine glows on the corner, blue light on wet pavement. I don't buy anything, I just notice how many things keep shining without needing attention. The second bridge is wider, lined with lamps that make the mist look gold. And a cyclist crosses and the tires whisper on damp concrete. I follow at my own pace, slow and steady, not chasing, not escaping. I remember nights when I walked fast to outrun thoughts. Tonight I walk slow to let thoughts settle. My phone vibrates once, it's nothing important. I smile at that. I reach the middle of the second bridge and look up. I breathe in and the air tastes clean like rain just finished working. I breathe out and feel the ribs soften. I think about you as a chapter that ended without a clear last line. I don't rewrite it, I don't demand closure, I just let the page stay turned. A bus crosses the bridge and the whole structure trembles briefly, then steadies again. I like that resilience, shake then return. I keep walking until I reach the other side. The city opens up, streets spreading like options. I choose the route home, not by logic, by comfort. A small shop closes its shutters, a light turns off upstairs. Night keeps folding itself into quieter shapes. When I finally reach my door, my legs feel warm, my mind quieter. Bridges, one walk, No big revelation, just movement, and the simple proof that I can carry myself from one side of a night to the other. To the other. The balcony chair is cold until I sit down. A thin blanket settles over my knees, not enough to be warm, enough to be comforting. The city air is damp, smelling like rain and concrete. Below, traffic moves slowly, a low chord under everything. I watch a streetlight flicker once and continue shining anyway. It feels like advice. I don't take my phone outside, I leave it on the table inside. Face down, a small boundary on the balcony. There is only weather in my breathing. A neighbor's window glows 2 buildings away. Television blue, then dimmer, then off. Life closing itself quietly. A wind passes and lifts the blanket edge. I adjust it and feel my hands return to their calm shape. I think about the day. Nothing dramatic happened, yet I'm tired in a deep way, like the body carried invisible weight. I let my shoulders drop, I let my jaw unclench. The city below keeps going without requiring my attention. A motorcycle passes, sound fading quickly. A dog barks once, then quiet. Rain begins again lightly. A thin tapping on the balcony rail. I listen to it as if it's music without lyrics. I realize my chest feels wider than it used to at night. Not healed, just less trapped. I breathe in slowly, count to 4. I breathe out longer, count to 6. The blanket warms a little from my own heat. A small partnership. I stare at the sky, no stars, just cloud and mist. Still it feels spacious. I remember you briefly, a soft outline, then nothing. The memory passes like wind through branches. I don't grab it, I let it go. I sit longer than I planned. Time moves differently out here. The night feels like a slow song. Eventually my knees cool again. I stand up and fold the blanket carefully, as if care is practiced before going inside. I take one last look at the wet street below. Reflections shimmer and disappear with each car. The city doesn't keep anything, neither do I tonight. I close the balcony door. The latch clicks, a quiet ending I can trust. looks like a calm argument. Colored lines crossing, names stacked in neat patience. Destinations pretending to be simple. I stand under it and feel my day shrink into options. Left or right, local or express, go home or stay outside longer. The train arrives with a breath of warm air and the smell of wet coats. Doors open like polite mouths. I step in and the car rocks gently, a cradle built for strangers. Someone's headphones leak a thin melody, barely audible like memory, trying to be useful. A man reads a paperback with a thumb mark in the page, ready to pause life at any sentence. A woman holds a tote bag with a logo from a store I never enter. A student scrolls, eyes blank, thumb moving like a metronome. I watch my reflection in the glass, blurred over tunnel darkness, and think about how many versions of me. Road trains with different reasons. Some came from love, some came from fear, some just came from habit. To be moving, motion is easier than meaning. The speaker crackles and announces a stop in flat syllables. I don't catch the words, only the rhythm. The doors close, we slide forward, lights flash past in a simple pulse that slows my breathing. I rest my hands on my knees, open, unarmed. I remember you as a station I used to exit at, a place that made sense then. Now the route has changed, not dramatically, just quietly, like a schedule update no one explains. I look up at the line map inside the car, smaller than the platform map, and notice how every choice still ends somewhere. That comforts me. Stop, I need a stop. The train curves and my body leans with it. A small surrender, a small trust. We surface briefly, dark water appears outside, holding city lights without keeping them. Then we drop back underground. I feel my thoughts follow, then settle. A child laughs, then hushes, and the laughter lingers like a warm spill in the air. I imagine you somewhere else, making your own tiny choices. I don't resent it, I don't romanticize it, I let it be true. The train slows, doors open, people stand and leave, as if departure is easy. I stand too, not rushed in. Step onto the platform, the map above me waits, still calm, still offering lines. I pick one, not because it's right, because it's next. And I walk toward the exit with a quiet certainty that choosing anything is better than freezing. The lobby plays elevator music, like it's trying to be kind. Soft chords, a polite tempo, a melody that never asks questions. I stand by the mailboxes and sort through paper as if paper can explain life. bills, flyers, a coupon. I won't use a small pile of proof. The elevator ride and the doors open with a calm that feels practiced. I step in alone, the mirror catches my face too clearly. I look tired but not broken. The music continues thin and cheerful, floating above the hum of cables. I press my floor number, the button glows like a tiny promise. The building can actually keep, we rise. The walls vibrate softly, I feel the motion in my knees, in my ribs, in the part of me that still expects something to happen. But nothing happens, that is the lesson. Some rides are just rides, the music loops, a gentle chord change, a harmless resolution. I remember how I used to force smiles when I felt empty, how I used to match my tone to keep things smooth. Tonight I don't. I let my face rest in its real shape, a small honesty. The elevator passes floors like pages. I don't read a faint clink from the cable system, a subtle sway. The building is alive in a quiet, mechanical way. The music keeps insisting on pleasance. I let it, I don't argue, I just stand, hands in pockets, breath steady. My phone buzzes once, a generic alert. I ignore it, the music is enough sound. I think about you in the space between notes, not sharply, more like a distant outline. The thought arrives, then softens, I let it. The elevator slow, a gentle deceleration that feels like exhaling. The doors open, my hallway is dim, carpet patterned to high time. The elevator music stops when the doors close behind me, and the sudden silence feels like relief. I walk to my door and listen to my keys. He's singing their small metal song inside. The room is quiet, no soundtrack, no performance. I turn on a lamp and let the warm circle appear. I sit down and my shoulders drop, as if the body finally trusts the end of motion. The elevator music downstairs keeps looping for other people up here. I keep my real face, no smile required, just breath, just a quiet room holding me without instructions. Breath. Recycling night, testing moon. The recycling bin lid closes with a dull thump, a small ending with no drama. I carry a bag of bottles down the stairs, glass clinking softly like shy applause. The hallway smells like detergent and someone's late dinner. Outside the air is damp, streetlights make the pavement shine A thin mist moves through the courtyard, like the night is breathing quietly. I walk to the bins and sort slowly. Paper here, plastic there, glass in its own compartment. Small systems for a world that's too large. A stray cat watches from under a car, eyes bright, body still. I nod as if we share a contract. The cat doesn't respond, that feels honest. Above the moon is blurred by clouds. A plastic-looking circle, too pale, too distant. I think about how many things feel artificial when you're tired. Motivation, joy, the idea of closure. I drop a bottle, it lands with a sharp clink, then settles. A brief chaos, then stillness. I like that sequence. I like that most things. Return to quiet, a neighbor crosses the courtyard, carrying laundry, head down, moving like routine is a shield. We pass without speaking, not cold, just respectful. Rain begins lightly, a soft peppering on leaves. I pull my hood up and feel the fabric frame my face. The world narrows, the courtyard becomes a small stage with no audience. I finish sorting and tie the empty bag into a neat knot. A small discipline, a small kindness to future me. I stand for a moment, listening to night sounds, distant traffic, a dog bark, water dripping from a gutter. The city is a low chord, it holds itself steady. I breathe in, the air smells like wet earth and plastic, and something faintly clean. I remember you as a recycling day routine, a shared chore, your hands passing me paper stacks, your voice saying, this one goes here. The memory arrives like a lamp turning on, then dims. I don't chase it, I let it fade into the mist. The plastic moon above stays blurred, unimpressed by my feelings. I like that too. I start walking back inside, hands empty now. Back on, clinking gone, only my steps remaining in the stairwell. The bulb buzzes softly, a tired companion. I climb one step at a time and feel my breathing match the rhythm. Upstairs, my door opens to quiet. I remove my wet hood, hang it carefully as if care can be practiced. I wash my hands, warm water runs, then stops, a clean ending. Recycling night, tastic moon. A small task finished, a small proof. I can take what's messy and sort it gently until the room inside my chest feels a little cleaner too. Cafeteria is open for people who don't sleep on schedule. Bright tables, clean floors, a menu that repeats without shame. A microwave hums behind the counter. A refrigerator fan breathes steadily. The worker wears a tired smile that looks like muscle memory. I ordered soup, something warm, something uncomplicated. The tray slides across the counter with a soft scrape, a sound like routine. I sit by the window. Outside rain turns the street into glass. Inside fluorescent light makes everything honest. A man in a uniform eats quickly, eyes on the clock. A woman with a laptop stirs a drink without looking. Two security guards talk softly about nothing important. The room is full of quiet survival. I like that no one is performing, no one is trying to be poetic. I take a spoonful of soup, it's too hot, I wait. Patience is a small skill I'm learning again. The soup cools slowly, steam thinning in the air. I listen to the buildings hum, air conditioning, piping, distant elevator movement, a mechanical lullaby. My phone lies on the table, silent, face down, I don't flip it over. I don't bargain with the past, I just eat the taste is plain salt, warmth, the faint sweetness from vegetables. Simple things deserve respect. I think about you briefly, not sharply, more like a word I read in a book I closed. I don't reopen it. The night shift cafeteria doesn't care about my chapters, it just stays open. That reliability feels like mercy. A cleaning cart rolls by, wheels squeak softly. The worker wipes a table with careful circles, erasing evidence of someone else's hour. I watch and feel my chest loosen. Maybe we can wipe things clean without denying they happened. I finish the soup, my hands are warmer, my breathing is slower. A small change, a real one. I throw away the napkins, stack the tray and return it to the counter. The worker nods again, still tired, still kind. Outside rain easing in a mist, the streetlight glow looks softer. I step out, coat zip, hands in pockets, and feel the cool air meet the warmth in my chest. The cafeteria stays behind me, still bright, still open for someone else's midnight. I walk toward home with a steady understanding that not every comfort has to be profound. Sometimes it's just soup, fluorescent light, and a room full of strangers quietly getting through the night. I turn the laptop off without finishing the last thought. The screen goes dark and the room changes temperature. Silence arrives like a slow blanket covering cables, papers, the restless glow of notifications. I sit still and listen to the building breathe. A pipe ticks, a distant door closes. Traffic far away as a low, steady chord. I don't move toward towards the phone. I don't open anything again. I let the night be closed, the way the laptop is closed. Not dramatic, just complete. I wash a mug, water runs warm, then cool, then stops. A clean ending with no ceremony. I dry my hands carefully, as if care is practice. The lamp in the corner glows low, shadows soften around furniture. The room looks kinder when it isn't trying to be productive. I think about you as a tab left open too long. Not a mistake, just something that drains energy. I don't slam it shut, I don't delete the history. I simply stop refreshing. I breathe in, count to 4. I breathe out, count to 6. The ribs loosen, the jaw releases. I notice how quiet my hands are, resting on my knees, open, unarmed. Outside, rain begins again lightly. Thin taps on the window. I listen as if it's music with no chorus, no repetition, only texture. The rain doesn't ask for meaning, it just falls. I stand and turn the lamp lower, then lower again, until the light becomes a whisper. I fold the blanket at the end of the couch, smooth the edge, a small act of respect for tomorrow. I check the lock on the door, a gentle click. Safety should be simple. I return to the bedroom and sit on the bed for a moment, without scrolling, without searching, without rehearsing. The day fades from my muscles. I lie down, the mattress sighs. My breathing slows naturally, like it remembered how I think about all the endings I tried to force into speeches. All the goodbyes that got messy, all the closures that never arrived. Tonight I choose a different ending. Soft shutdown, no goodbye. Not because I'm cold, because I'm learning to rest without narrating it. The rain keeps tapping, the city keeps humming, the room keeps holding its shape. My eyes close without resistance, and the night fades out gently, like a song lowering